come on. Get in this house. Who's that? Oh, it's okay. You stink. Are you opening that? Okay.
Okay, hi, welcome to a new vlog. This week is gonna be a little bit different because I'm at my parents' house. I'm visiting for a week and I brought my little man. I brought Kelsper with me because he loves it here. He's been having the best time ever. It's so fun watching him and Evie interact. So this is gonna be a week in my life. My mom is currently, hi Bub, you wanna say hi? You having fun here? Mom is currently doing some yard work and I'm just about to go out and join her, so that's the very loud raking. I'm just about to make an iced coffee. I am going to tell you a bunch of reading updates. I do have a lot of schoolwork I need to get done this week, so I brought everything with me, right? What's that? No, you have to come down. I gotta close this. I know there's maple syrup in here. Is there? Yes. Oh, these are fun ones. These are different than the ones we have at home, Cal. Oh, bless you. Okay, here, you can, no, you can just have one. Oh, shit. Smells delightful. today we're going out to, or this morning we're going out to the bookstore because I need to find some other texts for school. I'm going to a secondhand bookstore, so I'm very excited. I really like this one. I need to find Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, The Stranger by Camus, and something else. There's another play as well. I have it written down. Pastor also loves his stroller. We've taken him out now. We've been introducing him slowly, like first taking him in here, taking him in the backyard, and then out for a walk, Evie. The pimple patches are in place. We can now have a little FaceTime catch up. Him and I did just get back. I'm sure you just saw from our little 1 week at home. I guess like him and I had a mini vacation at my parents' house, which was nice. He came with me to visit. He loves my parents. He loves Evie. He just got to spend a whole week with Evie. Their relationship is so funny. Like Kelsfer is very much the one in charge. Kelsfer has been trying to get Evie to play with him for, you know, every time they visit each other, but she doesn't really know what that entails. So Kelsfer will just like launch himself at her from the curtains of my closet and just like try to smack her, and Evie will just kind of get a little bit miffed and run away, is what Evie will do. So I don't know, they're just so fun to watch. But yeah, we had a really good time. Kelsfer had a great time. I bought him a stroller and then I had it shipped to my parents' house. So we took him for walks around the neighborhood almost every day. He really seemed to enjoy it, and it was just so cute seeing him in his little stroller just looking at the world, and him and Evie got to go for walks together like that, so that was really fun. But Now the stroller is taking up quite a bit of space in my apartment, so I'll have to see if he likes walking around here because he doesn't really mind loud noises or cars or anything. He's pretty used to it now. So we'll see if like walking him around here would be fun. That was kind of my week at my parents'. It was nice. I went thrifting, I went to the plant store, I was outside every day, went on a bunch of walks in the woods through different places, spent Mother's Day there, saw a bunch of family, and I did also finish 4 books when I was at my parents' house, which was good. 3 of them were for school, so I finished How I Became a Nun. I gave this 3 stars, very strange, very experimental. I'll talk more about that in my wrap up. And then I also finished H is for Hawk. I gave this 3.5 stars by Helen MacDonald. This is a memoir. Memoirs are not my favorite, so 3.5 stars is like really high for memoir, but that is that guy. And then I also finished Richard III, 4 stars. Really enjoyed this. Yeah, a little long, and I did drag a little in the middle half, and then the way that Shakespeare plays just wrap up so quickly always makes me laugh. But that was Richard III. Really liked it, gave it 4 stars. And then I also finished My Gently Raised Beast Volume 1, also 4 stars. Really so cute. It's so cute, and I cannot wait for Volume 2 because I saw the cover of Volume 2 and I think there's like a time jump where they like grow up a little bit, so I think they become, I don't know, teenagers or adults. I'm not really sure because in here they're like just kids, they're meeting. It's about a princess who finds a cat on the palace grounds, and then it turns out that the cat isn't just a cat. Today, like as of today, I'm so behind on schoolwork, YouTube work, book club stuff. One of the things I've fallen behind on is The Brothers Karamazov. We're reading this for the Game of Tomes book club for May. I'm just gonna read this in May and June. I'm really loving it. It's just very dense for me and very slow going right now. So I am, as of right now, 92 pages through The Brothers Karamazov. I should realistically be a lot further, but that is all I've managed to read so far. So I'm gonna read more of this today. Gonna start a vlog wholly dedicated to this, so I won't say too much about it, except I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. There's just a lot of discussion, conversation, philosophical debate, religious battling going on. So that is The Brothers Karamazov. And then I do need to start another Shakespeare play today for my Shakespeare course because I finished Richard III, and for the Shakespeare course at uni, we read a Shakespeare play per week. So this week is Taming of the Shrew, and since it's already Wednesday, I am behind. I'm also at least 1 essay behind in my other classes in general, so I'm just right now, I just got to the conclusion. I was working on it this morning, so I need to just finish up the conclusion of this essay I'm writing for my Indigenous Lit course. The piece I'm writing up for that one is called Summit with Sedna, Mother of Sea Beasts. It is an Inuit story about Sedna, who is the goddess of the sea. Really liking that. I think the essay is going okay, so I should be getting that one done soon, and then immediately I need to start an essay for my Latin American course, which is going to be on How I Became a Nun and Hour of the Star by Lispector. Anticipating this essay is going to be really difficult because both this guy and Hour of the Star, very challenging. So I'm a little worried about that essay. I should already have it started, but I think today I just want to finish the Indigenous Lit essay and then get at least the essay kind of thesis hovering in mind. I also need to answer my thesis advisor because he got back to me about my proposal, which was really good. I did really well. I'm not gonna lie, what I really want to do is play Darkest Dungeon 2 because Darkest Dungeon 2, the game, it's a video game, came out this month, I think like last week or something. And I started playing it last night, and I'm really liking it because it's been so long since I played the first Darkest Dungeon game. I just really enjoy it because it's like a very grungy, extremely grimy, dank. Dank is the perfect word. It's so dark, gloomy, very gothic, very haunting. Everyone is sickly, everything is grimy, everything is disease. There's a plague on everyone's house. Yeah, anyway, it's a fun time, and I really like, yeah, I don't know, I just love the play on words and the language that is inserted into Darkest Dungeon because I feel like normally it wouldn't be my kind of game, but just everything surrounding it, the atmosphere, the background, the writing, I really enjoy. So, but I shan't do that yet. I think right now what I'm gonna do is get some of this reading out of the way because otherwise I will be up to my eyeballs in books, but like when am I not? So very long intro. Hi. Okay, hi. It's a little bit later, and I started reading, I almost said The Taming of the Screw. No, Turn of the Screw. This is Taming of the Shrew, not Turn of the Screw. Anyway, I started reading Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare. This edition I recently found thrifted, which is nice. Ideally, honestly, I would have all of the Folgers editions of Shakespeare, but if I can find Shakespeare thrifted, which you pretty much always can, I mean, that's gonna be way cheaper because this was $8. The Folgers editions aren't too much more, honestly, and like the really big one of Richard III that I got, I really liked those bigger folder editions. Anywho, I have the Arden Shakespeare, an older one. When was this? I don't know what edition, what like year, from like the 1980s, and it's fine. Like it'll do, you know. Taming of the Shrew is not a long play by any means. I got about 50 pages through. I've never read Taming of the Shrew again, and I totally forgot until I started reading it that 10 Things I Hate About You is like a retelling of Taming of the Shrew. Like I totally forgot that. I love 10 Things I Hate About You so much, and now for the rest of this play, which is not very long, honestly, I'm just gonna be imagining Petruchio as Heath Ledger. It is really different from 10 Things I Hate About You. Obviously, I know that Taming of the Shrew is going to be a lot darker. So basically, if you haven't seen 10 Things I Hate About You, you should. But Taming of the Shrew, we have this rich elderly gentleman, Baptista, and his two daughters, Caterina and Bianca. And Bianca is the younger. She's like beautiful, she's very modest, she's everything a woman of the period should be, so obviously she has a handful of suitors. I'm already getting her suitors mixed up because not only are their names very similar, but everyone starts to don a disguise, like everyone starts to be in disguise because everyone's disguising themselves as her tutors to woo her, which I just don't understand. I don't know why that's why is that their go-to thing? Because, okay, the thing is that the father, Baptista, because Kat is extremely foul-mouthed, but not really, and just, I guess, abrasive, bold, just kind of out there. They call her the cursed Caterina. No one wants to marry her, but Baptista doesn't want to give away his younger daughter until his older daughter, like the eldest daughter, Kat, finds a husband first, for whatever reason. I think it's just because he likes his younger daughter more and he wants her to stick around for a little bit longer. But everyone is in love with Bianca, so everyone in love with Bianca, much like in 10 Things I Hate About You. Who is it? Oh, what's the actor? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Really young version of him. He obviously recruits Heath Ledger to date Kat so that he can go out with Bianca, so that's what's happening in here, obviously. So we have the suitors of Bianca fooling around and trying to find and marry off like someone to Kat or Caterina, and that is where Petruchio comes in because he just wants money. Like he just wants money and he likes a challenge, and he's like, oh, you have like this woman who is impossible to tame or whatever, like I'll take her. It's kind of awful, but it is funny, but like I totally didn't know that this play, I think this is one of his only plays that starts with an introduction instead of just going into Act 1, because The Taming of the Shrew is actually a play within a play, much like what happens in Hamlet, but The Taming of the Shrew, the play, is like pretty much the whole play, Taming of the Shrew, if that makes sense, because this actually opens with an introduction of this tinker named Christopher Sly. He has passed out drunk on the ground, and this like really just egregious, puffed up, arrogant lord finds him there, and he's like, oh my god, how funny would it be if we took this drunk, passed out man, dressed him up in my clothes, put him in my manor, and convinced him that he was a lord who just woke up after 15 years of like insanity believing he was a tinker. People really had nothing better to do back then. Who the hell even thinks of that? They take this poor man who is just trying to sleep off his ale, they dress him up, and they're like, oh lord, what can I get for you? And they end up asking him if it's okay to put on a play for him, and that play is The Taming of the Shrew that features Bianca and Caterina. So it's just okay so far. Like I said, lots of people have the same name. There's multiple people with like lots of same names. There's lots of disguises going on. I also don't know why 2, and it might be 3 now, of Bianca's suitors while they're waiting for her like elder sister to find a husband, they think the best idea to get close to Bianca is to disguise themselves as her tutor to teach her languages and music. Like, just be a normal man. Like I said, I'm 50 pages through. I'm gonna start the lecture readings for this pretty soon. I really do like this whole thing with disguises and like name changing and deception. I don't know, I guess I find his tragedies more funny, honestly, than his comedies. And I know this comedy, I've heard that it turns pretty brutal soon, especially with the relationship between Kat and Petruchio. What have I done? Oh no, no, no.
Dancing while the spring's still here. They don't make haste cause they know what's coming. We try to wash away our broken years, but it's so hard in the cold summer.
Okay, so the desk is a little bit messy, as you can see. Actually, it's not too bad. There's just random stuff. I just need to sort out my camera. I wish I had somewhere like nicer to store it. This is just my planner. This is a bunch of clean laundry I need to put away. These are random one sock each because I cannot find the pairs, so they need a little bit of a home. This is my to-do list, and then I can just like throw these things back here. And then I just made a coffee. Alright, you do get crazy looking Emma today. I apologize. Let me just really quickly update you because I was talking about Taming of the Shrew. I did end up finishing this yesterday, actually. Not my favorite Shakespeare play, but was not expecting it to be. And it is, like I was saying, a lot darker than obviously the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, which is very different and is, I guess, pretty loosely based on Taming of the Shrew. But this one is a lot heavier. It deals with domestic abuse because Petruchio does eventually like take on the challenge of taming Kate to make her his obedient wife, and a lot of that involves starvation, torment, physical abuse, emotional abuse, humiliation. I did really like the element of like changing identities all the time because, like I was saying, so many people are in disguises that it's sometimes a little bit hard to be like, oh wait, this person is actually this person is actually this person. But I did like that. I did like the performative aspects of like gender and class positions, because you have people who are servants or just of a lower rank than the lords and like higher up families of Italy, and they become the people who are actually ruling over the families because of their disguises now. So overall, I did give this 3 stars, which I feel like is pretty low for Shakespeare. Actually, I might bump it up because like it's Shakespeare. I always feel a little bit blasphemous giving Shakespeare like a 3-star rating, but like it is just my personal enjoyment. That's all it is. So I liked it, didn't love it, and that is all I have to say on Taming of the Shrew. I keep wanting to say Turn of the Screw, but I am gonna have to be, I think, doing my first assignment in my Shakespeare course on Taming of the Shrew. I wish it was on Richard III, but it's not. And because I finished Taming of the Shrew, immediately have to jump into another Shakespeare play, and because today's Monday, I have to start it today. This time, Romeo and Juliet. We're just cranking them out. Richard III, we did Richard III, just finished Taming of the Shrew, and now I'm hopping into Romeo and Juliet. So this one I've already read, but I am going to reread it because it's been a while. I read this first in high school. I think that's a mistake. I think trying to teach Shakespeare to a group of 13 to like 17-year-old kids, I think that's a big mistake. I know I'm gonna get so much more out of it this time, and I'm actually really excited to read Romeo and Juliet because, yeah, I just think I've changed so much. I've just changed so much, and I'm really excited to get into this. I also know that the Romeo and Juliet ballet is going on right now, which I might try and get tickets for. I've been debating that for a few months now, and this kind of seems like a sign. I also adore the Romeo and Juliet film with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. Yeah, love it. Probably my favorite Shakespeare film ever made. I really love that Romeo and Juliet film. So yeah, gonna start this today. The other book I have to start today for school for my Latin American course is Captain of the Sleepers by Mayra Montero. So we're gonna see how this goes. Fairly short. This is just over 100 pages. This one's just under 200 pages. So that's on the agenda to get a little bit of a start in both of these today. I also have a Latin American essay on the go again, which I'll talk about in a clip probably tonight. I always do like my best essay writing. I just feel like I do my best essay writing at night when the sun goes down. I did submit my essay for my Indigenous course, so that one is done. That one was on the summit with Sedna, Inuit land rights and different things like that. And then what else do I have to do? I need to email my thesis advisor, my thesis professor. He is really nice, he's really amazing. Just give him an update, talk about some things because I got my thesis proposal back that I said I think went well, so I just want to thank him and touch up on some things with that. I feel like my thesis keeps getting pushed to the back because like its due dates are so stretched out, whereas my other courses are obviously more compact. You have essays pretty much back to back to back, you have all this reading to do, but your thesis is your own timeline. And so I'm like, oh man, I really need to prioritize it somewhere, so I'm gonna do that today. You saw this morning that I was in some big trouble with the library, which has never happened before. Probably the closest I've ever come to committing crimes. I did not return my thesis books, like literally ones that I checked out in, I swear, like February or something. I renewed them so many times because when I got my library card, the guy was like, oh, just so you know, like there are no late charges. We don't charge you for that. And I was like, okay, cool. In my mind, that translated to I can keep these books forever as long as I eventually return them. In the library's mind, no. They were like, this girl lost our books. We're gonna charge her the full price of each book, and there were a ton of books. And so yesterday when I went to borrow an audiobook from Libby from the library app, they were like, your card is blocked. And I was like, why am I blocked? Why am I an enemy of the library? And then I logged onto my account and it was like, you have $200 in charges. I skedaddled my butt to the library this morning and threw all my books back in. So yeah, it just means now I'm gonna check them back out, and I guarantee you the exact same. I know I'm gonna try not to make the exact same thing happen again, but yeah, embarrassing. I think my debt has been cleared with the local library. Otherwise, they're gonna send people after me. Sorry, I just got an email. It's currently 11:59, and yeah, I've gotten ready for my day. I'm wearing a hat because today is going to be a hair wash day. Like, I need to wash my hair, but I also want to go to the gym tonight. So I just, you know, you have to schedule it accordingly. So we're just going to wear a hat until I get back from the gym is the plan. I wrote out my to-do list to keep me accountable. I just love writing to-do lists. I really do. I have about 3 or 4 books I need to get quite into. I was talking about Romeo and Juliet yesterday, was it? I believe. So I need to absolutely keep going with this. I started this last night actually, so I got my pages in. I'm gonna be reading 15 pages of this per day. I really like doing that, like just dividing the page count by the number of days you've set yourself to read it for specifically works that are school related, because it makes it really manageable and you get through it, I think, at a good pace. You don't rush through it, but you also don't take it like way too slowly that you forget what's happening or that you lose touch with it. You're in it for a period every single day that you kind of commit yourself to, I guess. And it also helps with, I feel like, taking it side by side with the lecture notes too. So anyway, I'm 15 pages through. Like I said, I read this in high school. Was not the time, but I've started reading it, and man, I don't know, maybe just because I'm reading this after Taming of the Shrew, but it's so good. I feel like the writing, the language in Romeo and Juliet, I'm really enjoying. Mostly I love Benvolio. I want a whole play about Benvolio and Mercutio. I really like them. Oh my gosh, Benvolio. It's at the part now where Benvolio and Romeo are going to the Capulet like house party, I guess, to where he's eventually going to meet Juliet for the first time. So Romeo is just being a very sad, cranky teenager. He's just running away from people. He's shutting himself up in his room because this girl, they are absolutely, Juliet's 13. She's like, I never want to get married. I just don't want a husband. And Romeo's so cranky about this. So he's being way over dramatic, but that's what this whole play is about, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really liking it. And then the other one I need to read, I don't think I talked about this yesterday, but it's Captain of the Sleepers. I didn't know what to expect from this at all. I didn't know what to expect from it at all. I knew vaguely some things about the plot, but I went on Goodreads and this only has 100 ratings. It's so good so far. It's so good. I'm 12 pages through and the tension is already so high. I'm so invested. I'm so interested. Like, it's really caught my attention and I want to know more because it's reading very much like a very suspenseful, very high tension book, because it starts with this 60-year-old man meeting this 80-something-year-old man at a hotel, and he's like, I'm here to kill this guy, but I need to hear some things that he's gonna tell me first. The elderly man, the one who is older, the 80-year-old man, he is the captain of the sleepers. He was the one who is it a boat or a plane or both? I think it might be a plane actually. So he takes back and forth dead bodies, people who have died on one place, mostly in this book. I think it's going to be on the big island or the main island of Puerto Rico, and then bringing them back to other surrounding islands where they were born or where they just want to be buried. Like, that's his job. And then the 60-year-old guy who wants to kill the captain of the sleepers, whose name is JT. The 60-year-old man is the child of the mother that JT had an affair with. Like, his mother cheated on the 60-year-old man's father at the time, and they had an affair together. So there's a lot of drama already, but like, the writing is really nice. It's really beautiful, and there's gonna be so much about death in this one, which I'm really excited about. So yeah, that's Captain of the Sleepers. I'm very happy because my next paper, I said I was gonna tell you guys about my Latin American paper a little bit, but the next paper after this one is the big research paper of the course, like the one that is worth the most, the longest one, and I'm really happy that like Captain of the Sleepers is, I think we're reading 2 novels before the research paper, but this is a strong contender. So that is that. And then I'm gonna start my brother's Karamazov vlog today because I'm also in the middle of this. I mean, I'm nowhere near the middle. I'm only 126 pages through the Brothers Karamazov. I took the dust jacket off, but oh wow. What am I getting myself into? I have a lot. There's just a lot going on. This one I'm taking really slowly. I've not been meeting my page count at all for the Brothers Karamazov. I'm very behind, but like, it's a book you kind of have to take slowly, I think. And I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, just wanted to mention this quickly here, but I am going to be filming a whole Game of Tones vlog for probably just this book because I have a lot to say. So yeah, gonna be reading these three today, and then I want to start, I just need to absolutely get some more reading done for my thesis, so I'm gonna probably make a list for that and then start reading that. But my Latin American Lit course, the essay I'm working on right now for that is on Hour of the Star and How I Became a Nun by Era and Lispector. So my previous essay for this course was a comparative essay, which I was saying at the time that I didn't think comparative essays, like I just didn't like really writing them. I didn't think they were my strong suit, but I got back the one that I did on 100 Years of Solitude and The President, and I did really well. Honestly, I blew it out of the water, trying not to lowball myself anymore. It was fantastic. So that kind of like changed my whole mind about like, oh, maybe this is something I'm like kind of all right at. So when I saw that there was an option as well for this essay to do another comparative writing project, I was like, you know what, we're just gonna give it a go. So my essay is on both of these and looking at the representations of physical health in both of these novels and to what extent the characters are controlled by or relinquish their control of their bodies in order to be free. Because in Hour of the Star, Maccabea, the young girl, she is beset by like three long lists of illnesses, physical illnesses, ailments, sicknesses, from tuberculosis to, you know, slumped shoulders. Like she has basically everything, but she never complains about it. And as much as like the man who writes Maccabea's story is like, you know what, she doesn't know herself, she's incompetent for life. I feel like she's really suited for life, because I'm gonna kind of talking about how life entails so much suffering, and Maccabea like just accepts it, and more than that, moves beyond it, and at times forgets or willfully relinquishes the fact that she does have a physical existence, that she has a body. She becomes kind of untethered from it, and she's able to move beyond her physicality. And on the other hand, in How I Became a Nun, the young 6-year-old narrator, like his or her life is forever scarred by this really traumatic event. They get taken out for strawberry ice cream. This ice cream ends up being laced with cyanide. At the same time, their father kills the ice cream vendor for giving them the strawberry ice cream, and both this like seeing his father murder someone, but also this extreme physical reaction. Like later on, the child calls retching their entire destiny, like vomiting is their destiny. And they never recover from this like physical and mental shock. The rest of the novel details a lot of this kind of imprisonment that this child is facing from their own body. So we have kind of two opposing reactions to declining physical health or sickness, and a lot about food and retching, which is just a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, because I'm a big vomit girl. I've always been a big vomit girl. This is TMI. Ever since I was little. Vomit is just also my destiny, apparently. So yeah, that is the essay I'm working on. With that, I'm about 1,100 words in, so we're gonna see how that goes. But like I said, I've been working on it at night, so I'm gonna put this away, gonna hopefully read a little bit. I want to edit this vlog that you are watching right now, and then I also want to get started on some thesis stuff and plan the rest of my YouTube content for this month. So another busy day. Okay, so I also want to show you a mini haul from when I went to Chapters when I was home, because I got a few books for my Shakespeare classes. I went to that lovely secondhand bookstore, and wouldn't you know, I walked out with nothing I needed for that Shakespeare course, like what I went in explicitly to buy. And of course I came out with like 4 books, although that secondhand store is like, it has such good prices. But I want to show you the ones I got at Chapters. I'm also just about to make an espresso. Do I want an iced? I got an espresso machine this month. Yeah, wow, life-changing. And I also I just don't go to Starbucks anymore, which is the big thing. I just need to find out where to recycle the pods, because I want to be really diligent about the recycling part. So I have like a bucket full of them, and I think you can drop them off, at least here you can drop them off at the beer store, and they will take them for you and recycle them, so that's cool. But do I want iced? I usually do iced in the afternoon, but I'm like a little chilly today. It was really funny because when I went to, it gives me the excuse to use this little espresso, I guess little teacup that I've had. I thrifted this when I was in high school, and I was like, one day I'm gonna have espresso in it. Today is that day. It was really funny when I went to Chapters, because when I went to the checkout, the cashier, oh my gosh, are you buying these for school or for yourself? And I was like, for school. And she was like, oh, is it from this university? And I was like, yes, that's where I'm taking the course. And she was like, who's your professor? And I was like, this is the professor. And then she's like, oh my gosh, I know her. It turned out the cashier was an English major, and it was just really fun. And we got to talk about Shakespeare plays and King Lear, and it was just nice. That's something I feel like I kind of miss. Like, I am pretty antisocial. I'm very introverted. Talking to people usually isn't my favorite thing in the whole world because I am very shy, but like I do miss going home to a smaller city where like people talk to you, because my experience in Toronto is that people don't really start up conversations with you. The vibe always seems to be like they're too busy, there's too many people, you don't really have the chance to strike up a conversation or have those opportunities. It was just nice. It was like an interaction. Yeah, it was just an interaction that I was missing, that I didn't even know I was missing, because here, frankly, it just doesn't happen. And a lot of the time I feel like when I try to make an effort at conversation, I get looked at a little bit funny, and it's just, yeah, what can you do? Anyway, so the two plays that I got, I think I have all the ones I need now, but Romeo and Juliet, of course. I really love the Folgers editions. Sadly, these were the only 2 copies of the plays that Chapters had. Can you believe that? So these are the modern library editions, which like I guess these would probably be my second favorite Shakespeare editions. I have King Lear in this edition, but Folgers has my heart, especially now that I know they have those huge Richard III ones. So I got Romeo and Juliet. Not a fan of this cover, but it's okay. And then the other one I got was Hamlet. So there it is. I do like this cover a little bit better, but yeah. So they look cute together, but I'm happy to have these. I've read both of these. Romeo and Juliet we had to read in grade 10 at high school, and Hamlet was grade 12. So, I mean, Hamlet is iconic. Even in grade 8, we put on a play of Hamlet. I was Ophelia. It was a good time. I think we actually killed that production, if I do say so myself. But yeah, so gonna be reading both of these very soon. I mean, I'm already in the middle of Romeo and Juliet, so I'm gonna make my espresso now. First things first is the maple syrup, because I used to not like maple syrup for like years and years and years. I don't know what's happened recently, but now I really enjoy it. So I pretty much only use it in coffee now. So mostly just in my iced. So I just put a little bit. That was probably way too much, honestly. You distracted me. Put a little bit in there, and then top it off with oat milk. Then I just dump my espresso in. Ka-chow. That is good. Okay, I wanted to come on here and close off this vlog. I think it's gotten pretty long, but I want to bring back the long vlogs. I like making longer vlogs because it's just, I don't know, it's just more natural. So it's 5 o'clock. I've gotten my reading of Shakespeare and Montero done. So for the rest of the night, I'm going to work on Brothers Karamazov, work on getting a bit more into this essay. And then, oh, I checked my Libby account, and it turns out the library got my books okay. So I am unblocked. I am no longer enemy number 1 of the Toronto Public Library system. It's okay. I've hit my redemption arc. So my Libby and my library card are now unblocked, and I'm able to borrow audiobooks again, which is great, because that was like my main downfall that I was waiting on. So because of that, I've now checked out The Woman in the Purple Skirt. This has been on my holds list for a long time. This is by Natsuko Imamuro. That could be or could be not correct. But I really don't know what to make of this. Like, I'm not very far in. I don't even know, like, I really didn't even know what this was about. I think the title was just intriguing to me. So it's a really short audiobook. It's only 4 minutes. It's 4 hours. It's 4 hours long. So I'm gonna give it a go. I'm not hooked yet by the beginning. It's basically just chronicling this narrator's obsession as well as the town that she's in, like their obsession with this woman in the purple skirt. She's almost taken on like this mythical celebrity existence. So I feel like I thought this was a thriller or something, but I think that might be totally wrong. So let me know if you've read this and if I should keep going with it, or if you think I should or would like it. So yeah, I have one more thing to show you though. I still need to cut the tags off, but when I was at that little strawberry farm and greenhouse, I bought this wind chime That sound, I really like it. Like wind chimes are very hit or miss, but that one is like very nice to me because it's like almost a seashell. So it's just there for now because on my window I have this wind chime and then the little bells. I wanted to say thank you so much for watching, for being here. Hope you've had a fabulous week yourself, and I will catch you in my next video, which I hope is probably gonna be very soon. So if you also have any video suggestions for me, let me know because I would love to hear your requests and stuff. So I will go and I will leave you with one more fond memory of the woods and of Evie. So here it is, and ciao.
That's a different kind. Whoa. Oh, there's another what in the... Look, another one.